So good morning, everybody. Happy Easter to all for whoever celebrates Easter and for who celebrates Sunday and who just celebrates life. Really good to have you all on this morning, and thank you so much for being willing to show up on a Sunday morning. That's very cool, because we could have just laid in bed, right? There's not like there's a hell of a lot of places to go to right now. We could have just lost away, but you guys are up and doing stuff, so thank you so much for joining. So just to give a background again for people that are new on the call and for anybody that's going to watch this later, we are a group of bars practitioners and bars facilitators in South Africa and Botswana, and we are sharing the tools of Access Consciousness to inspire others to use them too, so that you too can be on the path of empowering yourself. Because when you are empowered, you will be able to navigate your way through whatever is going to show up in the future. Because the future is undetermined, not predictable. Who the flip knows what's going to happen next? And the key to all of this is knowing that you have yourself, that you are empowered, that you are the source, and that you know, and you will know what choices to make that are going to contribute for you, and also what you would like to create in your future, because everything we've set up until now is now done. Like any classes we were doing are now, like, there's no classes, right? There's in the format that we had them before. Whatever, your jobs may change, something's going to change in the future, and we have no clue what that's going to be. Now, for some people, that could be really scary, and for some people, it could be exciting, and some people could be sitting on the fence. Who knows? Everybody's in their own place, right? It's not to say that there's a right or wrong place to be. It's like, where are you now, and where would you like to go in the future? And one of the key things that I've noticed is if you're feeling crap about yourself, it's very difficult to take a step forward. That's my personal experience. I'm not saying that's the same for everyone. So if you can use the access tools for, like, I mean, they have so many different applications, right? And all the tools that we're going to share with you don't have one specific application, which is why I've asked all the practitioners and facilitators to join on this call so that they can give their perspective on how they use the tools, because that'll trigger things for different people on how to use them. And there's no right or wrong way to use the tool. It's just, if that tool didn't shift that thing for you, use a different tool. It's not like you got it wrong. It's just there's something different going on that you need to maybe change it up a little bit. But if you use the tools, first of all, to get yourself out of any wrongness, because when you go to the wrongness of you, what I found, it can make you feel pretty down, right? You can may end up being a bit depressed or have a lot of stress or anxiety or whatever. So if you can pull yourself, if you can not be in that space of wrongness, you will find that you will be more empowered to know what your next steps will be. You will know when to wait, and you will know when to take action. If you're in the deep dungeons of whatever, you still got to pull yourself out of that before you can make a choice. And any choice you make from that space is actually a reaction. It's not a choice. So if, for example, and this is my default is always money's my big trigger. So if I go into, oh, I don't have money, and now what am I going to do? And you can hear already how I'm starting to go the wrongness of me. Because for whatever reason, I haven't created money, or I haven't done this, or I haven't done that, or I didn't do enough, or whatever it is. Now, when I react from that, then I say, okay, I'm going to go do a class, and then I'll put something up, and nobody will show up. It's because I've reacted to that energy instead of choosing to be money, choosing to be power, choosing to be control, etc. And I'm not being the energies of what I'd like to create in the world, and therefore not congruent with what I'm asking for, which is why sometimes things don't work out for me. Anyway, that's kind of a sidestep. So to get to where we are today, so far we have discussed the clearing statement, which is the access magic tool for destroying and uncreating any stuck energies, limitations, anywhere you've caught yourself in a belief or an identity or whatever, any definition, any judgment, all those energies, you can use the clearing statement to destroy and uncreate. Then we have discussed the what did you say? Oh, interesting point of view. Interesting point of view is to get you into the space of allowance, and specifically allowance for you, so that there's no judgment, there's no right or wrong, no good or bad, no whatever. You want to be in allowance, you want to have no charge on anything, because when you have that no charge space, then you have true choice, and you will be able to see all the possibilities, because you're not blinkered by the judgments, the limitations, the definitions. Because when you've defined yourself some way, when you've made yourself wrong in some way, The only thing you can notice is the stuff that is going to prove that to you. It's got to match that energy. Does that make sense? So once you can let go of all those things using the clearing statement and interesting point of view, then you're more of you, right? So there's more you. You're like totally undefined. Who am I? What would I like to choose today? What energies would I like to be? How would I like to create my reality? And you can start moving forward. So it's kind of those, I don't want to really call them steps, because with Access, there's no formal structure or rules or any way to do anything. It's like use the tools the way it works for you. However, I have noticed with me particularly, if I'm not in that space of neutrality, so to speak, and being all of me, I find it difficult to create my reality and choose what I want to do next. So the tool we're going to discuss today is who does this belong to, and return to center with consciousness attached. Now, the reason why it's so difficult to like figure out which tool to like share first, because in a way, everything we are thinking, feeling, or emoting, any point of view we have, anything is not ours. It's all learned behavior. And it's also all our awareness that we have about everything that we are not questioning and adopting as our own. So pretty much up until now, until you've started working on your stuff, whatever modality or tools you've used, it doesn't matter. You have basically created your reality based on your past. Your past conditioning from the parents, the past conditioning from teachers, the past conditioning from caregivers, the past conditioning from friends, whatever. Wherever you have aligned and agreed with something or resisted or reacted to it, that's it. You've made it your reality. You've entrained with it in a way. So if you're not asking a question, is this mine? Who does this belong to? Or is this the energy I'd like to have in my reality? And is this how I'd like to create my life? You are basically on autopilot, and your life is showing up for you without you choosing it, so to speak. Although you are choosing it because you're choosing something from autopilot. Does that make sense? So this tool, who does this belong to? Or is this mine? Those are the two questions you can ask to figure out whether this is your energy or not. Is almost like, I would say, the first thing to do. If you wake up in the morning and you're not being all of you, you're not happy, you're not joyful, you're not blissful, you're not at peace, you're not relaxed, you've bought something that doesn't belong to you straight away. Because truth, are we infinite beings? So would an infinite being ever choose any kind of limitation, any kind of funky energy, any kind of, oh, I'm like so bad, I didn't do this today? You know, an infinite being doesn't function like that. It's like, okay, bliss, joy, choices, possibilities, where are we going? What's next? What can we choose? What contribution can we be? Have gratitude, have simultaneity of gifting and receiving, knowing, being, perceiving, receiving, all those like lighter, higher vibrational energies that, that we are supposed to be, like no judgment there, but that's like the target is to become conscious, right? And be those energies. We know it's possible. I mean, we have to know it's possible. If we didn't think this was possible, we wouldn't be here today. Do you get that? If you didn't know something else was possible, you would not be on this call. You would not be seeking other things. You would not be watching videos. You would not be reading. You would not be coming to a class or whatever, because you will have accepted that what you had was normal and enough and okay. But you know it's not enough and it's not okay, which is why you are doing all these different things. So you know it's possible. There is a deep ingrained knowing in you that something else is possible, and we can create a different reality for ourselves and for the planet. We know that we can create and contribute to a sustainable planet, and we can be a steward of the earth and not a consumer of the earth. We know. That's why we're doing this stuff. So if you know that, and you know that you can have a life of joy and adventure and exuberant expression of life and all these other things, anything that's not that is not you. So there already you have that, okay, this is not me. But we still don't say, okay, is this mine? Or who does this belong to? We still take on that stuff, and then we try and do something with it. It's like, that's crazy, right? So now I'm going to start using because we've done clearing statement, whatever. So everywhere you're addicted to all energies and taking them all on and thinking that somehow you've got to fix them, heal them, change them, do something with them, respond to them, whatever. Will you please now destroy and uncreate that? Times by Godzillion, right? Ronke Bab, Papadoline, Short Boys and Beyonds. It's individually up to each one of us to find our path and our way. It's not up to us to fix other people. We can be the invitation, we can be the inspiration for others to choose something different, but it's not for us to do it for them. But now here's the tricky thing is when you live with people that you really care about and you see they're in pain, either emotional pain or physical pain or whatever, you want to like, no, you've got a different way. You've got to do this. I mean, and then energetically, because we are all healers in our own way, we are taking the stuff on trying to heal it for them. But you get, if they don't choose, if they don't change their choices, they will just pull up that energy again for themselves. So if you're living with someone that's depressed or you're living with someone that's angry all the time, whatever, it doesn't matter how much you tiptoe around them trying to handle the depression, the anger, whatever, trying to make them feel better, whatever it is, until they choose something different, they will just keep recreating it. So you've got to look at, is this working for me? And does this change it for them? And if it's a no, then you use the tool, return to sender with consciousness attached. And if you attach consciousness to it, then the consciousness can do the work. Consciousness and awareness is what you can flow to them so that when they're ready, they can choose it. And if they don't, they don't. And you can use interesting point of view tool to be an allowance of whatever they choose. So everywhere you've been taking on everybody else's energies to do whatever you think you want to try and do from the space of caring, will you now destroy and uncreate that? All your decisions, judgments, conclusions, and computations have you made that you have to do that and be that for others. Right, wrong, good, bad, pop, puddle, lunch, short boys, and beyonds. Okay, cool. It's quite a lot, right? Do you get a sense of like flip and heck? When you allow that energy to run off and dissipate it and let it go, it's a lot, right? It's a lot, it's a lot, a lot. So please acknowledge how much you care about people and how much, even though you may hate them at times, even like, and how much you care about the planet. But what energy, space, consciousness, choice, possibilities can us and our bodies be to do this differently from a space of consciousness and awareness rather than fixing, healing, or changing. And everything that's not allowing that with ease, we destroy and uncreate it all. Right, wrong, good, bad, papa, lunch, short boys and beyonds. So if you wake up in the morning and you're not a joyful bunny, you know straight away you've taken on something that doesn't belong to you. Straight away. Even a thought that I'm not good enough is not your original thought. Do you get that? It's like that underlying energy that you've perpetuated and impelled on yourself your whole life is not your original thought. Would an infinite being ever, ever, ever think that they're not good enough? No. So return that to sender with consciousness attached. All the time that you like, anytime you think of someone, you automatically become aware of what's going on for them in their reality. And if you're not quick to ask, is this mine or who does this belong to? You take it on. Then you scroll through social media and you pick up all those energies of all those people on social media, all those thoughts, feelings, and emotions, all those judgments, all that fear, all that doubt, all the paranoia, everything that's going on, you're taking that on. Then you watch something on TV and you get embroiled in some kind of drama or investigative process or whatever it is that you love to watch, you take those energies on. Then you speak to somebody on the phone, you take those energies on. You will do a WhatsApp, you take those energies on. You just tap into the world and you take those energies on. And then we wonder by the end of the day why we feel so crap. So what if you can get really, 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 really diligent with this tool? Who does this belong to? You don't have to know who it belongs to. You just need to know it's not yours. You don't have to go into that whole, okay, maybe this is my mom, maybe it was my dad, maybe it was my friend, maybe it was, doesn't matter. Just let it go into the universe, return it all to sender with consciousness attached. It's not your stuff. Even as it doesn't matter how much you love people, it doesn't matter how much you want this world to change. That's not the way that's going to contribute to you and create a lasting change. Because all that does is you solidify that energy. If you become it and be it, you've created it again. So all those energies that you're trying to fix, heal, and change that aren't even in yours, you're just solidifying them and making it more and making it stronger. And here's the other weird thing is when an energy feels dense or heavy and contracted, we think that's more real than the lighter energies, which is why we take them on, right? Because we can feel them. We can feel them in our body. Changes the physiology of our bodies, and we can feel that in our body. But we're not supposed to feel those things in our body. Our body is like sensory, right? It's not supposed to be all those heavy, dense energies and feelings and emotions. So return it to sender with consciousness attached. It's not yours. It's never yours. It's never, ever, 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 ever yours. And even if you've grown up with it and you adopted it as yours, it originally was never yours anyway. So if you're not a happy, joyful bunny, you've taken something on that does not belong to you or is false and not true. So you've got the 3 tools: return to sender with consciousness attached. You may have to say it a few times: return to sender with consciousness attached. All the energies we've taken on already just through this call from each other. Return to sender with consciousness attached. 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 Everywhere you've aligned and agreed, resisted and reacted, and bought this all as true and real for you, will you now destroy and uncreate it all? Times by Godzillion, right, wrong, good, bad, pop, bottom line, short boys and beyonds. Everywhere you've got a judgment of this, it's right or wrong, or it's good or bad, or it shouldn't be happening. Interesting point of view, you have that point of view. Interesting point of view, you have that point of view. Interesting point of view, you have that point of view. Interesting point of view, you have that point of view. Okay, so there's still some energy stuck here. So if you, this is turning into a facilitation session, that's interesting. Okay, so who would like to ask some questions around this? We'll just follow the energy. That's fine.
Jenny,
Mm-hmm.
can I speak?
Of course.
Okay, I don't have a question, but I applied it yesterday because I became aware that I'm not drinking alcohol. I don't really enjoy it, and I'm not smoking. The last week, I got such a craving for a cigarette and a glass of wine. And I was wondering, what the heck is going on? I don't drink wine.
Yeah.
And why didn't I get a bottle of wine? And then yesterday, I realized we are on lockdown.
Yeah.
And South Africa is not selling liquor and selling tobacco.
Yeah.
So what was I aware of?
Yeah, so you're picking up everybody's cravings, right? And that's quite interesting because now lockdown's been extended by 2 weeks. A lot of people are panicking because they only bought enough alcohol and cigarettes for 3 weeks. So now, how aware are you being that you're picking up everybody's addiction and worry and craving? So everywhere you're picking up like that, even food, right? You could be doing it with food too. Yeah. Like people are worrying about food and, or, you know, like, sorry, what did you say? Andrea, did you say something? Sorry, Hannah, didn't hear you.
No, I didn't say anything.
Oh, okay. So anywhere we have awareness of people's cravings and addictions. Will you return to sender with consciousness attached? Return to sender with consciousness attached. Return to sender with consciousness attached. Return to sender with consciousness attached. Can you feel that addictive need in you to like hold on to it? It's kind of interesting, right? So anywhere you're buying into having to hold on to this, oh, let's destroy and uncreate the distractor implant on this. So there's that addiction, addictive, compulsive, obsessive, perverted points of view. So all of those things are distractor implants. So all the distractor implants we have with this will be destroy and uncreate it all. Right, wrong, go, bad, pop, bottom line, short boys and beyond. So everywhere you're not willing to let it go, will you destroy and uncreate that? Right, wrong, go, bad, pop, bottom line, short boys and beyonds. Everywhere you're determined to hold on to it, so at least it gives you something to do, will you destroy and uncreate that? Times by Godzilla and right, wrong, go, bad, pop, bottom line, short boys and beyonds. Sometimes we get addicted to other people's drama because at least gives us something to do and something to think about. And we may even take on a lot of stuff just to entertain ourselves during lockdown. So everywhere you're doing that, energetically, will you destroy and uncreate that? Times by Godzilla and right, wrong, go, bad, pop, bottom line, short boys and beyonds. Okay, so return to sender with consciousness attached. Okay, so now everybody's fear that you're aware of from all around the world that you are picking up energetically via social media, via the news, via talking to people, via whatever. Everywhere you're picking up everybody's fear, everywhere you're picking up everybody's worry, everywhere you're picking up everybody's doubt, and all the paranoia that's going on with that, will you now return to sender with consciousness attached? Return to sender with consciousness attached. 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 It's pretty solid, right? Return to sender with consciousness attached. Let it all go. I know that you think that if you can buy into what everybody else is buying into, you're not going to miss out, and you're going to be on top of your game, and you're not going to get caught unawares. But that's not true. All the time you're taking on all this stuff, it's going to distract you from your knowing and your awareness, and then you will be caught unawares. You don't need other people's stuff to know what's going on. If you're being present and being connected to you, the being, the stuff that you need to know will pop up. Somehow it will get to you. So everywhere you're taking on everybody's fear, everybody's doubt, everybody's worry is a way of getting informed on the world and what's going on. Well, you now return that all to sender with consciousness attached, and everywhere you've decided that's the way to be informed, will you now destroy and uncreate it all, right, wrong, good, bad, pop, online, short, boys and beyonds. Return to sender with consciousness attached. Return to sender with consciousness attached. All the people's fear, all the people's worry, everywhere you're worrying about other people. You see how it all gets solidified. Everywhere you're worried about people, everywhere you're concerned about people. I'm not saying and not caring. That's not what I'm saying. But don't take it on, because if you take it on, how much contribution can you be to others if you're not being you? So return to sender with consciousness attached. Let it all go. Everywhere you think true caring is by taking on the burdens of others, will you now destroy and uncreate that? Times by Godzillion, right, wrong, good, bad, pop, online, short, boys and beyonds. True caring is being an allowance of whatever people choose. If people are choosing fear, if people are choosing doubt, if people are choosing worry, you've got to be an allowance of their choice. You can be the inspiration for something different. They may or may not choose it, but you've got to be different. If you're not willing to be different, you're going to be the same as them, and then we cannot show them there's a different way. If you take on all the fear, all the doubt, all the worry for everyone else, you're doing the same as them. They see no difference, and everybody just does the same thing over and over. Do you want to be the difference? So return to sender with consciousness attached. 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 Everywhere you thought this was a good idea to take on all these energies, for whatever reason, will you now destroy and uncreate it all? Right, wrong, good, bad, pop, online, short, boys and beyonds. All the decisions, judgments, conclusions, and computations you made, that this was a good idea, this is the way to fix and heal and change the world, will you now revoke, reclaim, rescind, reclaim, renounce, destroy, and uncreate all those? Times by Godzillion, right, wrong, good, bad, pop, online, short, boys and beyonds. Everywhere you've been taught, programmed, and conditioned that the only way you can change the world is to take on the burdens of others, will you now revoke, reclaim, rescind, reclaim, renounce, destroy, and uncreate all that? Times by Godzillion, right, wrong, good, bad, pop, online, short, boys and beyonds. Return to sender with consciousness attached. All that fear, all that worry, all the paranoia, all the doubt, all the unknowing, everything that everybody's going into, because we now have an unpredictable future. Will you now return it all to with consciousness attached? Okay, so now, and if this is still running for you, just keep on letting it go, let it go, let it go, let it go. Because you can get to a space where you can then be, wow, we have the possibility now to have something totally different. And if that is not joyful and expansive for you, keep returning to sender with consciousness attached. All the fear, all the stress, all the anxiety, let it go into the universe with massive flow, massive amounts of consciousness and awareness to all the people that require it. Just flow massive amounts of consciousness and awareness to all the people. Sorry, my little dog's just rushed into the room. He's so funny. All the consciousness and awareness, flow, and pull the energy from the universe through your body. And everywhere you haven't acknowledged or been aware of the fact that this reality is inside you, you are not in this reality. You as an infinite being, expansive, light, gifting, receiving, joyful energy. Does this reality exist within you, or do you exist within this reality? So if this reality exists within you, do you get that you have the capacity to be the invitation to something different? Do you get you have the capacity to choose and create something different? Do you get that you have the choice and the capacity to lead people to something different? But you've got to be it. So you cannot take on anybody else's energies or entrain with anybody else's energies. So return to sender with consciousness attached, everything that doesn't belong to you. Return to sender, which is pretty much everything. All the thoughts, feelings, emotions, all the fear, all the doubt, all the anger. Return to sender with consciousness attached. Cool. So whenever you get funky, ask, who does this belong to, or how does it get better than this? I mean, sorry, I got distracted. Who does this belong to, or is this mine? Go, Naz.
So when I'm not feeling so great, and I remember to use this tool, I find that sometimes it's really solid, and when it's solid, I get into this energy that it's mine, and it takes a long time for me to clear it. Do you have any something that I can use that? Or my question is,
there's a couple.
You know, like, okay, this is so heavy, it must be mine. And it takes a long time to go like, no, this shit is not mine. It belongs to somebody else. And because it's solid, I buy it as mine.
I know. Yeah, it does. It feels more real.
Yeah. It has to be mine because, wow, it's so heavy. So I think it's mine. And then when I start doing clearings because it's mine, it gets into all this, you know, tailspin kind of thing.
Yeah.
So what can I be or do to be more, I don't know if it's pleasant.
There's two questions you could ask. One, what do I love about this? Because there has to be some value in it for you to hold on to it. Whether it's try and fix it, or you try and take it away from someone else, or it just gives you something to do, or it's like for me, that I did a whole thing on anger. I think I touched on in the first call, but I realized that how much I loved anger. And if I was stuck with anger, I wouldn't let it go because I loved anger. It's just an example, right? So you can ask, what do I love about this? And you can ask, anywhere you've bought it as true and real for you, destroy and uncreate that. And do that a few times and then see if you have more ease with letting it go. Because it's a lie that it's yours, right? I mean, wherever it came from, it's always a lie. So you just got to keep on destroying and uncreating everywhere you've bought that is true and real for you. Because you're believing it, but it's a lie. So everywhere you're believing the lie, will you destroy and uncreate that? And everywhere we believe that if it's heavy and solid and contracted, that it's more real and more true, will we destroy and uncreate that? Because that's another thing too, right? When we think that it's if it's heavy, it's got to be true and real for us. So everywhere you've got that mixed up with what's light is true for you and what's heavy is a lie, and you're mixing the two up, will you destroy and uncreate that? Times by Godzilla, right? That's pretty cool. So maybe that's why I know a lot of people sometimes have an issue with the light and heavy, where heavy is a lie and what is true for you is light. And people struggle with that because we actually think that the heaviness is the truth. So everywhere you've got that mixed up, everywhere you've misapplied and misidentified heavy as true and real for you, will you now destroy and uncreate that? Times by Godzilla, right? Ronko Bear, Papalan, Short Boys, and Beyonds. Yeah. And everywhere you're not willing to follow what is lighter for you, will you now destroy and uncreate that? Times by Godzilla, right? Ronko Bear, Papalan, Short Boys, and Beyonds. Okay. So now all the
I think when that energy is stiff and you're like, okay, I really feel, let's just say, not good enough today. And okay, but I love myself, and you go all through those things, and you still feel like, oh, I'm not good enough today, and you're like, okay, maybe I'm not good enough, and then that the little space or time for me to identify that really this is not mine.
Yeah.
But just because it's so heavy, it's like, okay, what's surfacing here, and that's
Yeah.
that's the thing. So
Yeah.
thank you for
Yeah.
that.
And they're all lies. I'm not good enough.
Yeah.
I'm stressed. I'm just, like they're all lies. It's just we're not willing to give up the lies because we think it's more real than we are.
And I mean, like some mornings, one morning in particular, I woke up with a hangover, and I was like, oh my God, this can't be mine. I hadn't been drinking, and I'd actually picked up energy from some people who had been partying all night.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, really cleared quickly when I went back to sender.
Yeah. Awesome.
So yeah, I know it works. It's just that there are some days when it's like you wake up and it's really stuck.
Yeah, but also we're conditional about when we're willing to use the tools and when not. That's the thing. It's like we decide when to use it and when not to use it because the stuff that we love so much, in inverted commas, we want to hold on to and not willing to let it go. So for me, if I love anger, I'm not willing to destroy and uncreate the distractor implant of anger. I'm not willing to be potent. All the things that are going around that. But I have the tools. I don't have to stay with it. But, no, that works for me until it doesn't. So yeah, everywhere we think if it's heavy, contracted, makes us feel shitty that it's our stuff. We now return to sender with consciousness attached. 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 All the worry, all the fear, all the doubt, all the paranoia. All the thoughts, feelings, and emotions that are coming up for you around all the different stories as to why this is happening. Everything about the 5G, everything about the vaccinations, everything about world domination, everything, whatever all those stories are. Remember to follow what's light is true for you, what's heavy is a lie. And all the fear and all the doubt and all the paranoia that you're buying into with that, will you now return to sender with consciousness attached? Because remember, when you read something about, say, the vaccinations, and you have a point of view about the vaccinations, you're going to entrain with everybody else that has the same point of view as you, and then it gets even more and more solidified. So you take on all that worry and all that paranoia and all that doubt around the vaccinations. And then you wake up in the morning and, of course, you feel like poo. So it's okay to get information. It's to not be the effect of the information that you're receiving. That's the key. It's not to put your head in the sand and be totally unaware and pretend you're an ostrich with your tail sticking out in the air. It's like, be informed, but don't be the effect of everything that you're reading. It's like, okay, is that light for me? No. Is that light for me? No. Is that light for me? No. Is that light for me? Yes. Okay, cool. I'm going to keep that in my awareness. It's not like, oh shit, this is the end of the world. It's like, have that in your awareness, because you will require all those things when you want to make a choice for your life and your living. I watched a presentation yesterday, and they started off with some information that I had seen 20 years ago. And I'm going, you know what? This information no longer applies. This is the past. Our whole past is now gone. It's now's the time to create a totally different reality. And those points of view that we had in the past about what was important for us is now totally different. But you don't want to buy into all the stuff because everybody else is buying into it. You've got to look at, is this true for me or not? No. Okay, so now what would I like to choose? So this return to sender with consciousness attached is such an awesome tool too, because often, I don't know if you hear people say, you've got to create your reality. You've got to choose what you would like your reality to be like. And most of us are going, well, I have no flipping clue besides I know where I want to live and what car I want to drive and what holiday I want to go on. But when you start thinking beyond that, you're going, well, how do I want my reality to be like? But think of your reality in terms of energies. What energies would you like to have in your reality? Now, if you perceive realities that show up for you and they don't match the reality you'd like to have in your life, don't choose it. don't choose it. If it's not joy, if it's not happiness, whatever your reality is going to be, don't choose it. Just because you've had it for your entire life up to now, just because you've had fear for your whole life, just because you've had doubt your whole life, just because you've had whatever it is your whole life, that doesn't mean to say you've got to choose it for your future. You have now got the time and the space to really get clear on how you would like your life to be like in the future, and starting now in this 10 seconds. So you've got to get really good at letting go of all the stuff that does not belong to you. Shed it all. It's not your stuff. It's not your stuff. It's not your stuff. Return to sender with consciousness attached. All the points of view, all the judgments, all the opinions, all the worry, all the fear, all the doubts that you have perceived over the last few months leading up to this, will you now return to sender with consciousness attached? Return to sender with consciousness attached. Return to sender with consciousness attached. Return to sender with consciousness attached. Even if the people that are closest to you are still embroiled in all of this, doesn't matter. Return to sender with consciousness attached. This is a time for you to choose your reality. You cannot keep on choosing and creating your life based on everybody else. You've got to choose yours. Choose yours. And do not give it up for anybody. Doesn't matter. Be the invitation for change. Be an allowance if they choose it or don't choose it, but you be the invitation for change, and you live your life the way you would like to. So all those energies, all those points of view that don't belong to you, everywhere you took on your parents' stuff, return to sender with consciousness attached. All the stuff you took on from your parents, return to sender with consciousness attached. Return to sender with consciousness attached. You cannot heal your parents. We love our parents. We're grateful to our parents, however they showed up. They all did their best, even if they dropped us on our head when we were 5. It's okay. We're still here. And return to sender with consciousness attached. We're okay. Return to sender with consciousness attached. Flow massive amounts of consciousness awareness to everyone, all the people that you care about, everywhere you're trying to fix, heal, and change them. Let it all go. It's up to them to choose it. The same way you can nag someone to quit smoking, but until they choose to quit smoking, they're not going to quit smoking. You've got to allow them that choice. It's none of your business actually when they quit smoking or not. Just flow lots of energy, consciousness, and awareness. Everywhere you're still trying to fix, heal, and change the world, everywhere you're still trying to fix, heal, and change your family, everywhere you're still trying to fix, heal, and change your friends, will you not destroy and create that? Comes by God to learn, right, wrong, good, bad, pop, online, short, boys, and beyonds. Return to sender with consciousness attached. Cool. So your 3 questions. Who does this belong to? Oh, that's not mine. Is this mine? Oh, that's not mine. And is this my reality? Not it was this my reality. Is this my reality? What reality would you like to have in this 10 seconds? Is that energy what you want to choose and engage with? And if not, return to sender with consciousness attached and let it go. Cool. We may have to do this all day. Lifetimes of taking on other people's stuff and in training with everyone else. You get that, like if you've been brought up in fear, you're resonating with the energy of fear. Everything that happens in your life has to trigger that energy of fear. And that's what you will notice and what you will see is anything that's going to scare the shit out of you. So let it go. Do you want to carry on with that? No. Okay, return to sender with consciousness attached. Everywhere I bought that is true and real, everywhere I copied it, duplicated it, biomimicked it, whatever way you took it on, return to sender with consciousness attached, return to sender with consciousness attached. Cool. Okay, so would you please share with everyone how you use the tool, return to sender? Which little cricket is going to go first? Laura, thank you.
I'm happy to start. First of all, thank you, Jenny. That was a phenomenal facilitation.
No,
That was
thank
power,
you.
babe. Thank you. Okay, return to sender with consciousness attached is one of the very first tools I ever learned. when I started with Access. This was even before I had my bars run. And all my life, I think, well, I know I'd wake up in the morning with a lot of fear, a lot of guilt, like always waking up wanting to be happy, but then something would pop up and it was like, I should be doing this, or I didn't do that, or why didn't I, and all this stuff. I didn't realize that I was an empath. And then Return to Sender with Consciousness Attached came to me, well, it was taught to me, and I started using it. So before I'd wake up in the morning and before I even opened my eyes, I'd start just going, who does this belong to? Return to Sender with Consciousness Attached. Who does this? And sometimes I'd have to sit with it for a good 10 to 15 minutes. But over time, it just got easier and lighter and lighter and lighter. Now, I go straight into all of life comes to me with ease and joy and glory, because I don't have all that other stuff. So yes, it's a really phenomenal tool. Thank you.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you. Yes, and thank you for that. Like people that are empaths, very sensitive to other people's energies, you know, struggle to be in crowds or at cocktail parties or whatever. This is an amazing tool for them because they are picking up on other people's energies. Autistic people or on the spectrum, Asperger's, people with ADD, ADHD, very, very, very aware of other people's energies. So this is a great tool to teach and share with other people so that they can get some relief. Because it can be quite intense, you know, when you're that aware of other people's stuff and you walk through. I know, like before this tool, I used to go to the shopping mall and come back and have to sleep for 2 hours because I just like absorb so many people's energies without realizing it. Even like the one day I was having some facilitation on, I used to be many years ago, oh, sorry, I did something weird here. I used to be an impulsive spender. So even if I didn't need something, I would just go buy it, right? I'd walk around the shopping mall to go do my grocery shopping and come back with some stuff and then I'd get it home and like realize I didn't even want it anyway. So I was getting some facilitation on this and they said, you do realize, right, that, you know, you walk through the shops and the consciousness of the products in the shop window is buy me. They're for sale. That's their job, to be sold. And you're walking past them and they're going, buy me, buy me, buy me. And you're picking up on that and you're going into the shop and buying them because you're not asking the question, what am I aware of here? So that was really cool. That stopped my impulsive spending, thank goodness. But yeah, it just shows how aware we are. We are energetic, infinite beings. We are aware of everything. So you've got to get really clear on what's yours and what's not yours so that you can have more ease in your life. People that get depressed or stressed or anxious are taking on a lot of other people's energies. That's part of what's going on for them. They're super duper aware and they're taking on a lot of stuff. So please, please, please share this tool with everyone. And also, which is quite interesting, I sent out the invite for this Zoom, and then just after that, Dane sent out an email with a WhatsApp, with a mobile app. Who does this belong to? You know, there's a mobile app that you can download and put it onto your app, onto your phone. My words are getting mixed up. Put it onto your phone and it can remind you to ask the question, who does this belong to? So you can put it on a 10-minute reminder or 15 or 20-minute reminder or whatever. So please share that app with people because there's an explanation in there too. And Dane's, I think there used to be, I don't know if there's a new version now, but there was like a video in there and everything, an explanation on how who does this belong to work. So that's pretty cool. Share that with people too. I mean, can you imagine if you wake up in the morning and if you're like, oh, this isn't me, and you're straight away going, return to sender with consciousness attached. Return to sender with consciousness attached. And you do that for 5-10 minutes, and then you're being you, and you can start your day from that space. How amazing, and what a difference can it make to the world if we can all wake up like that? Pretty cool, right? So yeah, thank you for triggering the empath, aware, sensitive, all those people that are super duper abilities. Their abilities, we need the tools so that we can live with them with ease. Cool. Who's next?
Jenny?
It's our new addicted smoky alcoholic.
Yeah, now we're moving on to body and food. You know what's really amazing for me, because I'm totally aware of all the diet and all the body stuff that you can do.
Yeah.
And when I started using the tool, who does this belong to? it took me really a long time to figure out who am I and how am I relating to my body, because I didn't really like it. And I realized that most of it I pick up from the dissatisfaction of people with their own bodies.
Yeah.
So if I, I don't know,
So were you like eating for everyone else?
Exactly, like eating for everyone else, but
Yeah.
also exercise or not feeling happy with their own body.
Yeah.
Like how many people watch at the magazine and see, oh, I'm not looking like that, and then you start getting so unhappy.
Yeah.
And it's not actually.
Yeah.
Use that that daily on a daily basis.
Yeah. Awesome.
Wow. Is it even my fault, or is it my neighbor who's on diet?
Yeah, exactly. Again. Cool. Thank you. Who else? Cool, Jules.
Hey, Jen. So using this tool a lot, am I doing something wrong, but I feel drained? I feel tired. Is it just because I'm releasing a lot of stuff that doesn't belong to me? But even in this call, like I'm exhausted.
Yeah.
What is that?
Yeah. So are you releasing stuff? Or are you still trying, or are you, so how much stuff did you take on from the call yesterday?
Probably shitloads. Yeah, I did take on a lot
everywhere,
of stuff.
yeah, because that's the thing as well. When you start facilitation, because you desire results for people, you take on their stuff so that you can control how it changes, so that you can get the result for everyone. So everything that is, we're just doing incredible, right? Wrong, good, bad, papalan, short boys and meows. Because that's the thing too, is when we're facilitating or whatever work we're doing from a healing capacity, whatever it is, we take on people's energies in order to get the desired result. Whatever it is.
Even though we discuss it as a tool, it still happens. So
yeah,
is it like feeding the layers? You have to keep doing it until you get
through
it.
You could also be willing to give up the desired result and your attachment to the outcome, and be the question of what contribution can I be here? And everywhere you feel you've got to take on other people's stuff in order to process it for them, instead of flowing them massive amounts of consciousness and awareness and allow them to choose, be that energy.
Thank you.
Yeah, because you're facilitating, it's not your job for to control their choice. I mean, I get that we know how much these tools can change people's lives, but they've got to choose them, and they've got to choose to let go of their stuff. But we try and force them to change it because we care so much, because we know what can show up for them. But actually, we've got to allow them their choice. So everywhere you absorb other people's stuff in order to get a desired result or outcome, will we destroy and uncreate that? Thomas Bargod said they're not wrong, good, bad, papal, and short boys and beyonds. Aren't we cute? Yeah.
Sorry.
No, that's fine. Yeah.
I promise.
Yeah, and sometimes our bodies get tired when we release stuff, because you've had to use so much adrenaline to hold on to what's not yours, that when you let it go, then the adrenaline stops running, and then your body gets kind of tired. So just give it some space and time to relax. Go walk around in the garden, or go hug a tree, or whatever, and hug a donkey. You're lucky you can hug a donkey. I'm so jealous of your donkeys.
It's nice to play with donkeys.
Yeah, you can go hug a donkey. Send us a photo.
I'll do that.
Oh, yeah, how's that?
Much better. Thank you so much.
No, you're welcome. Cool. Who's next?
Cool.
Who else would like to share how they use the tool? There's no right or wrong on using this tool, right? Share, if you all can be a contribution to everyone to give them a perspective on how this tool can work, because there's no one way and there's no one application. You can use it in lots of different ways.
Hi there.
Hey, Samaya.
Yeah, well, with me, I find I use it a lot when I become aware that the emotions that I'm holding. For example, I will be in a good mood, and then suddenly something happens and I'm just like in the foulest of moods. And I know that that is not mine.
Yeah.
And then that's when I return to sender. And sometimes it just kind of gets stuck and it takes a little bit longer, but I find that after a while I feel that release, that okay, no, it's not mine, and I can go back to being the upbeat person that I am.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank
Cool.
you.
Thank you. Who else would like to share? Dale.
Hi, Jenny. Dale here. Yeah, beautiful day for a walk. And so happy that we had the rain last night. Yay! We had rain in Cape Town, which was wonderful.
Yeah, and it's early for us too.
I know, it was just glorious. Who does this belong to? I often find when it's quite an intense energy coming up or something that I'm getting more stuck with, I find asking myself specifically, truth, who does this belong to? Actually, somehow for me, gets more to, because then it's more like, because, you know, we do take it on from other people and it somehow brings it in more like in a personal way of, okay, truth, is this mine? Because then it sort of brings it back to me. Whereas, you know, who does this belong to can be very, I find, which is great with a lot of things, but for me, a lot of the time I find that like, truth, is this mine? Kind of like gets to the nub of it very quickly, and I just go, whoa, okay. And I get it and then clear it and return to sender. So for me, I find that helps a lot, saying more to myself, like, is this mine? Because we're so good at taking it all on as ours. Yeah. And if you actually ask the question, is this mine? It's kind of like, whoa, for me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah. Thank you.
Some more discussion on that, I did that
in the beginning, I was like, who does this belong to? Because of my monkey mind and the way I'm a head tripper, I like kind of now want to figure out who it belongs to. So it's been the whole day trying to figure out who this belongs to. So I can do some kind of analysis paralysis on it or whatever. I must have been some kind of psychologist or psychiatrist or something in past lifetimes. I don't know. And so I do sometimes prefer the question, is this mine? So that it's, and I hear what you're saying, like it's more personal, but it's like, I don't have to figure out who it belongs to, right? It's like, is this mine? Yes or no? And then no, okay, return to center with consciousness attached. So it's like clearer for me.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And good, who does this belong to absolutely works. And then, as I say, when for me, I'm finding it like more sticky, it's like, truth, is this really mine? Yeah. Thanks.
So you
thanks.
So you use whichever question works for you. And also, like, is this my reality? Right. Because I like this one, is this my reality? Because that really is like, now, no, that's not the energy I would like in my reality. And I'm not going to choose and create my reality with that energy. And remember, you're choosing and creating your reality every nanosecond. Yeah. So if you do happen to pick up on somebody else's stuff and you're carrying it for a while, it doesn't matter. You just then let it go once you're aware of it and move on. You know, we're creating our lives continuously. It's not one choice and then that's it, your whole life's done for the rest of your life. It's no, we're choosing every 10 seconds. Every 10 seconds. Oh, let's see, we got some other tools we can still chat about. We got lots of tools. Cool. Who else?
Cool. Jen, I find that no matter how much I do it, it doesn't seem to go. I've often spent time when I've done 10, 15, 20 minutes of return to sender. I try to get my body involved in it, and you walk away and it feels just as heavy. And I understand, as you said, that 98% or more.
Or more, like 100.
Is there a reason that that is so stuck?
Well, what do you love about taking on other people's energies? And if you don't have an awareness on that right now, that's fine. Just sit with that question. You can say, what do I love about taking on other people's energies? And you can also ask, what decision did I make that I'm not willing to let this go? And then sit with that and then just wait it out, right? It's like, don't try and think it. Just have those two questions there and then carry on with your day. And then you'll have that, you'll get that like pop-up thing that isn't a reason or a justification. It just like shows up. So sit with that. What do I love about this? What decision did I make that I got to hold on to it? What do I think I'm going to do with this? You know, anything along those lines, any kind of those questions is what is it about this that I'm not willing to let go of?
And then what you park and pod that.
Once you've got your awareness, there's your gift. Yeah. It's like, oh, okay, everywhere I decided I have to do that, destroy it, uncreate it, right, wrong, good, bad, pop, on lunch, beers and beyonds. And wow, that was an interesting point of view. I had that point of view. Here's the thing is like we often resist awareness, especially if we're judging ourselves. Because when the awareness shows up, then we judge the awareness. Like if I judged my point of view that I loved anger, I mean, I had a lot of points of view about how bad anger was, and how I despised angry people, but I loved anger. If I judged that awareness, I wouldn't have been able to work through it. But that's been the gift for me because I've been able to release it now. So this is like, don't judge your awareness. When you get awarenesses and stuff, don't judge it. Don't make it right or wrong and go, oh, thank God, I can let that go now. Rather, that's like, oh, hallelujah for that gift. Now I don't have to keep on holding on to that. But this is the thing, if you have been very judgmental of yourself and very critical of yourself, you may find awareness is a little tricky because you're going to judge what you become aware of. So rather than judge yourself even more, then you hide what you know. Okay. So it's, yeah, you want these gifts. It's like, thank goodness I don't have to do that anymore. Not my monkey, not my circus. People must choose what they must choose. Yeah, so just ask, what's the value of holding on to this? What's the value of not letting it go? What do I love about this? What decision, I think what reads a bit more is, what decision did I make with holding on to this that I'm not willing to let it go? And then carry on with your day and see what shows up. Cool. Yeah. Kind of amazing, right? That you don't have to choose any energy that shows up that is heavy is not yours. You can return to sender with consciousness attached, let it go. And you have a clean slate every nanosecond to create your life from that space of being. The past is irrelevant now, doesn't matter anymore. You get to choose now. Forwards, choose, forwards, choose, move forwards, choose, move forwards, choose, move forwards. What if the unpredictable future can be our greatest gift? Pretty cool, right? Consciousness cannot create everything. Cool. Anybody else want to contribute how they use the tool or have any questions? Awesome. So thank you, everybody. So you open your peepers. You're not happy to jump out of bed? Is this mine? No, return to sender with consciousness attached. And do it as long as you have to do it until you get light. And obviously you can use all the other tools too, clearing statement, light, and the interesting point of view.
Jenny, can I ask a question quickly? I'm getting the feeling that it's never ours. So like, I'm not trusting my awareness, but I'm just going with it. Okay, is it mine? No, it's obviously not mine. And then just pock and pod will send it back.
Yeah.
But like, I think I have that, maybe I'm blocking my awareness as well. I'm just going with the like, okay, well, it seems like 99% is never mine. So I'll just go with that. It's not mine. Send it back. Is that fine?
Yeah. You got to learn to choose.
Yeah.
We haven't learned to choose. We've learned to autopilot. We know how to autopilot really well, but we don't know how to choose. That's the thing. It's like now all these tools get us out of autopilot. Now we've got to learn to choose. What energy would you like to be? What energy would you like to choose? How would you like to choose your life? That's the thing, right? We're on autopilot so much. We have not been taught how to choose. So now it's choose.
Yeah,
and that's why it feels uncomfortable and strange, because we don't choose. We autopilot.
Yeah. That's been a massive shift for me. It's like, okay, well, we've destroyed and uncreated, we've sent it back, but what now? So what's the next thing I'm going to choose? And I think the biggest thing is to try and catch yourself before you downward spiral too deeply, that it's difficult to get out of it.
Yeah. Well, everywhere you've decided it's difficult to get out, and it's not just, oh shit, I've gone down the spiral, time to move. We just try and create that. Because difficult to create your reality, right? Right, Ronko Papa, answer your points of view, create your reality. So destroy and create everywhere you think this is difficult. Right, Ronko Papa, answer your Cool.
Thank you.
Hey. Cool. So thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Jenny.
I think
Thank you.
all of life comes to me with ease, joy, and glory is going to be our next tool.
Glory.
Yeah.
Yay! Watch me not have anything to say next time. Oh, it'll be so funny.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you so much, everybody. And thank you for being
Jenny.
willing to be the inspiration for everyone to use the tools.
Yeah.
So amazing.
Thank you.
Love to
Thanks,
you.
everyone.
Bye.
Okay, bye.
Have a good day.